kasi nila mapantay ang karisma niyang dala.
Mainin pa magsalita, napaka-cute ng boses niya. Sabay paghawi ng buhok, bumabagal sa aking mata. Di siya Amerikana, hindi rin siya Koreana, hindi isang Britanya, hindi rin taga-Kenya.
Siya ay Pilipina na isang morena, pwede rin mestiza, nakakagayuma.
Di siya Amerikana, hindi rin siya Koreana, hindi isang Britanya, hindi rin taga-Kenya.
Siya ay Pilipina, isang Maria Clara, pwede rin chinita, nakakagayuma.
Di siya Amerikana, hindi rin siya Koreana, hindi isang Britanya, hindi rin taga-Kenya.
Siya ay Pilipina na isang morena, pwede rin mestiza, nakakagayuma.
Di siya Amerikana, hindi rin siya Koreana, hindi isang Britanya, hindi rin taga-Kenya.
Siya ay Pilipina, isang Maria Clara, pwede rin chinita,
What's up, guys?
nakakagayuma.
A couple text messages, if you know what I mean. Anyways, oh shit. How's everything, guys? Just want to say what's up.
Ang lakas mo mang asar, tapos ikaw yung piko.
So, we had a
Ewan ko sa'yo, baby, ano
couple
ba
of
yun?
good
Trip mo lang ba?
videos out, and it's some lost stuff, but it's kind of gonna be funny because not a lot of people are gonna want to watch that stuff. But for the ones that watch it, that's awesome. There's 3 more videos coming up with attorney Bernice Piñol Rodriguez. So I was really appreciative that I was able to get to talk to her in the past and stuff like that, and be able to ask her questions and then share that with you guys. I was gonna release in one video, but then people's attention spans and everything like that not going to be really that high. So most people are not going to stay that long for the whole thing. So I kind of figured, let me break it up according to certain topics that was involved in it. And then there's a couple more stuff that came along in the Discord. So for the other people who are not familiar with it, guys, make sure you guys stop by our Discord. Link is in the description down below. At the very same time is don't forget to subscribe to that. Also, I haven't put out any content in the other channel, but we'll be doing that hopefully within the next week or so once I have some time. But at the same time as we're gonna look at some TikTok and stuff like that. So make sure you guys sign up to our TikTok. Link is also down below. And I'll just open up for any questions that you guys may have, any topics you want to kind of discuss, kind of just open up to that. And also, like I said, I'll bring up a couple things that was brought up by some people in the Discord. And I think it's just something that's going to be able to be really good to be able to discuss. So, what is up, Dave? See that you're here. Racer X in the house. AJ's in the house. Dave's in the house. Just Facts. Respect. Tony Manning. Edgardo. Nelly B. Mark Meadow. What's up, man? So. Nice. You were like a scientist when it comes to this. I would try not to be. I guess, just, put out a hypothesis, right? And then solve it from there. Let's see. Man, I think the theme for this week was what was the theme that they were using this week? Like how Filipinas are not interested with foreigners anymore. For some reason, there was like 5 channels that had the same topic regarding that. K Dallas, what's going on, man? How you been, brother? Farsight's in the house. Look at that. Ripley's in the house. What is up? Yeah, the banana topic was so last month. But okay, so let me pull up this particular comment, which was just to get started with it and everything. So I mean, this particular comment, like, kind of like, this is when you know somebody's projecting, right? Because like, why are you bringing up this comment on a particular video about a law? And the particular video is the truth on legal age and consents with Filipinas. And so this guy makes this comment. And he says, many teenage Filipinas get pregnant every year. Actually, the highest teen moms in Southeast Asian countries. Are local guys being criminally prosecuted, or is it the law only enforced against foreign men? I'm sorry to say, but let's break that down and say, oh, are you upset that maybe Filipinos get away with it? If it does happen, Filipinos are getting away with it, but because is this only going to get enforced with foreign men? Because what, you want to do it? You want to get with an underage Filipina? Like it's funny how you get so many guys complain like they don't do this to the Filipino people, but they want to do this to the foreigners. No, a lot of these laws are based in regards for majority of the Filipino people. That's why those laws are there. It's not really meant for foreign men. It's like, oh, we're getting invaded. Let's put these laws just meant for foreigners. No, this is for everyone. And the majority of it is in the Filipino community. That's why these laws are made. The laws are created for the Filipinos. And when you as a foreigner is in the land of the Filipinos, it also applies to you. And like this whole thing of guys are just like, well, because of the age and consent, this and that. No, you guys clearly heard the lawyer. It's 18. For age of consent. If you're an adult, it doesn't matter. Okay? Both for if you're an adult if you're going to have relationship in the bedroom, the girl has to be minimum 18 years of age. But guys are complaining. It's like, yo. And guys are going to, especially if you're American. If you're American, even back then, even if it was low before, as an American in the Philippines, American laws apply to you. Doesn't matter wherever you are in the world. If let's say I'm not familiar with other countries, like for example, India. Let's say India, it's 16. Okay, it doesn't matter because you, as a foreigner, as an American, and I'm speaking for Americans coming to that particular country, you have to be. It has to be with somebody who's minimum 18 years of age. And some guys will pull up the laws in regards to, hey, Michael, well, there's this thing where we saw President Duterte sign into law that the age of consent for sex with a woman is 16. It was increased from 12 to 16. Okay. But that applies to anybody who is under the age of 18. Before, when it was 12, they did this thing where maximum the person who is older can be only, if I'm correct, 3 years of age. So if they were 12, if you were 16, you were violating it. Like a lot of people will see these certain things, these laws being enacted, or hear other guys, write down the laws, but most guys are not willing to research further to read more about the laws that exist. It's just because most guys want to hear, what? 12? What? 14? You little sick bastards. And it says here, I guess he's retired in the PH now. Of all places that you're going to make this comment, it's like, why is it only for foreigners, but Filipinos are doing it? No, a lot of Filipinos have been put on jail for doing these things, for statutory graping, for being with minors. Like, can't you at least just be with a consenting adult? And let's go ahead and be fair. Majority of these guys coming to the Philippines will at least be 30 years or older. By far majority. Okay? By far majority. So I don't get it how people just tries to find wiggle rooms, and they create these categories or specifics in their brain because they heard from someone. Most of people have heard these things from other bloggers, from other vloggers, from all these guys in the comment sections. Like, most guys don't even bother looking into the law. Heck, we have a Filipina interviewing another lawyer, and if you watch that video during the time of the interview, this lawyer was, if you look at the two Filipinas that was having the conversation, that Filipina lawyer, every time she was going to answer the question, she would look this way towards the monitor and read. That lawyer could not even put everything in what we would say layman's terms. She was literally reading. If you looked up the law in regards for that thing where you have to take care of somebody's family, she was literally reading verbatim the law and was not really translating it fully. So it's like, and I'm not saying that whoever that girl is, that she's a bad lawyer. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that look into it further. And all of a sudden, that's the problem. When when the way they read it wasn't read fully, maybe she wasn't fully prepared. The way it made it seem like, it's like all of a sudden men who marry a Filipina will now be the one who has to pay the family and take care of that. That's not how that works. There are certain scenarios that has to be put in place. So, I'm just saying. What's up, Bob? You can't generalize people like that. It's foolish. Generalize which type of people? What's up, Bob? Mike, can expat John Vowsy he was robbed and forced to sleep on the beach? Expat John, you mean British expat John? When was he robbed and forced to sleep on the beach? When was this? I haven't watched any of his videos in a while. Michael Johnson, what's up, man? Oh, that's awesome, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, and those videos are not going to get a lot of views because there's no Filipina Pina. Drinking champagne. Simple man, what is up? Ripley says, I know a couple that fostered a young girl that was trafficked. She was a mess, poor thing. They did their best, but she kept trying to seduce the neighbor boys. She went back to the States. Interesting. AJ says, federal law prohibits an American citizen or resident to travel to a foreign country with intent to engage in any form of sex conduct with a minor, defined as persons under the age of 18. Yep. To be honest, I've never heard Bobo talk about. I'm guessing you're saying Go Go Bobo. I've never heard him speak any of that stuff because I've only been in his channel once. Where I actually went on it live. Yeah. Well, why? I wonder why. Did he? Where's Kuya John? He disappeared. Which reminds me, hold on. So, I will try to do a couple of cam ups a little bit. Kuya John, if you're there. Oh, there's this guy named Bruce 300 plus. He's like, what, where's my debate? Bruce 300 plus. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen him around. When you see Bruce 300 plus, tell him Mike's been waiting for his debate. He keeps on not showing up. Rupa says, years ago, went to a state fair. There was this blonde, perfect measurement, etc. Dad comes around from behind a booth. She is 13. Just say sorry and get the fuck out. No, he put up the ID, but if you watch that live, you couldn't really visibly see it. But then that doesn't take the fact that she was young before everything else. Whichever foreigner with that type of logic, they need to be realistic. Pretty sure in their own countries it's not allowed. Yeah. And that's why, bring your dirt elsewhere is what they do sometimes. Y'all remember the dude in Laos was with minors, got arrested, convicted in Laos, got deported and was arrested stateside on Chomo charges. I'm not familiar with that particular story, but Laos, just to let you know, a lot of Laotians in the United States speak Tagalog. If you didn't know this, a lot of Laotians speak Tagalog because I'm friends with a lot of Laotians, especially a lot of them are in Joliet, Illinois, close by to where I used to live, and when they didn't get brought, like when they were being helped by America after the Vietnam War, they don't go from Laos to America right away. They actually went to certain camps, and there were camps in the Philippines. So a lot of Laotians lived in the Philippines for a while before they finally got their papers set up for them to be sent to the U.S. So a lot of Laotians actually speak Tagalog, which is fun, which is interesting. Sabay di Jao to all the Laotians out there. I did. That was more in a private conversations. Like I said, I'm not saying that P's lawyer lied on anything. I'm not saying we can say she admitted or she did not fully explain everything. Because, like, a good example, right? They're saying the guy is going to be responsible. No. See, let's say, for example, you are married to a Filipina. Let's say the Filipina is a housewife. She doesn't have income. Okay? She does not have income. So the family, if they sue her, if they're down and out and they found money for a lawyer to sue her, she doesn't have income. So they can only get it's just like, for example, if you think about it in child, if you're going to be giving child support, right? They can only take a certain percentage of your income of what you make. So if you don't make a lot, they're going to take a certain percentage of that. But if you don't have any income, then they technically can't make you pay when it comes to, like, in the Philippines. But in the US, they can. Like, okay, there's a minimum standard. But in the Philippines and stuff like that, if they try to do that to your Filipina, well, she doesn't have any income. So because of that, how are they going to get money from her? They can't then all of a sudden, sue you because it's not your responsibility. It's not on you. Also, the next thing that yeah, you're going to be probably paying lawyers' fees just because you're going to get sued. So you want to be able to pay for a lawyer. But at the very same time, let's say, for example, they have four older kids. You're Filipina and three others, and then there's still two kids that needs to go to school. Well, just because you're the Filipinos with a foreigner doesn't mean that she takes 100% of support to the family. It doesn't work that way. It's going to be divided among the older kids as well, the adult kids. So there's those different scenarios that actually exists. And so there's information that was correct there. The law does exist. But for it to all of a sudden be transferred on the American, no. Now, if the Filipina that you're with is working, technically she would have to give some cash up. Mhm. If you get to interview her again, I got some questions sure others have as well. Yeah, the thing though is I'm also working on interviewing um a couple other lawyers. So the stuff that I asked her, like we had a conversation of like what topics I wanted to kind of discuss. There's a couple of real estate questions I wanted to kind of talk to and swing by her. And I think it's respectful for to say, I'm like, that's not my expertise, so I can't really answer those particular things. I know basics, but I'm not going to do those. So we concentrated on legal age, consents. We talked about divorce, annulment, the different levels of it, legal separations. What's considered a fraud. Like for example, let's say for example, you're a guy had a vasectomy, did not tell your Filipina that you had a vasectomy, then you guys got married. Is that fraud? That question was asked. Shout out to Steve. Um, so pretty much in almost every section, there was a particular incident or a particular blogger that you're gonna be like, I think Mike is talking about this person. So those are things that I think that needs to be discussed. Like I said, I will have a couple more lawyers that are going to be more real estate centric, or in this side of things, and ask them the questions, and really to be able to start getting more answers. And Attorney Bernice, if you guys haven't, her on the two videos and all the videos, you're going to see the link to her information. She has over 240,000 subscribers on TikTok. She guests. She's a guest contributor in ABS-CBN, the network, as well as GMA TV, the network as well. So those are the two top channels in the Philippines. So, and her family is, there's a lot of lawyers in her family, and also politicians as well. So, that lawyer talk in her family exists during dinner time, I guess. So, I think that she did really good on answering, and she, also went in furthermore on a lot of those topics that we had. And she obviously, if you guys watch it, she wasn't reading, right? So take it as it is. What's up, Mike? Da, 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 da. Filipina thoughts. Topic of the day is just a freebie. We had a few discussion about the couple of videos that I put out today. Age of consent, legal age of marriage, and what was talked about the Vowsy laws, and how deep that goes as well. Yeah, Brian 300 plus. That's the guy. Hoop life. Honestly, the underage thing doesn't surprise me. During New Year's, I had a young underage girl tried to hook up. Her mom was also encouraging that BS, and this was with my of age Filipina close by. Yeah, some crazy stuff. Laotians. And you know what? She does a good job to get paid, man. She should get paid. That's funny, man. I will say this, even in the USA, it's hard to find a good all around lawyer. Most specialize in certain case laws, kind of like surgeons. So it is understandable for them to not be able to give the right. Yeah. And, so like, then sometimes it's even better to go to a larger law firm just because, they have they know who to refer you better. Hmm. These Filipino lawyers can do divorce. Yeah, we talked about divorce a little bit. There are certain things that guys can do to get divorced in regards to the Philippines if you're American, especially. But there's additional steps that needs to happen. So I believe the divorce video and divorce annulment and legal separation video is coming out tomorrow. What if the Filipino was a breadwinner, made her quit job, and she could not support family anymore? They technically can then say, yeah. It all depends. I would say it all depends. So yeah, they can technically get her for that. You know what? In the end, don't go for the poor ones. All right, just don't go. What I learned is whenever there is a need in the family, each time it passes to every sibling, starting with the eldest. Yeah. First, you got to start from the top, then the bottom. You think he's being abused? Well, he made that video of the carrot and the stick, right? That's what he does there. He's like, I'll pay for electricity. I'll pay for the waters, but not the food. Carrot and the stick. Yeah, and there's a street in the Philippines called Recto Avenue. Go there. You can get all the fake paperwork you want over there for like under $50. Mike, what do you think about Michael from That Philippines Life and his soon to be ex-wife Bianca's situation? I'm actually not familiar of that channel. I think I've seen it before, but I never really clicked on it. Hold on, let me do a search. That Philippine Life. Okay. Oh, he's the one with that Filipina, the Phil-Am woman, right? She was a Filipino American and stuff like that, and they ended up separating. Because I remember when I was, yeah, I've seen for that channel, I've seen at least maybe two or three when they were still together. Um, I guess they came through a crossroads. I don't know. Um, I don't really know what's the situation. I guess when I pulled that up, that particular one, uh, TPL Bianca 2 months ago, it says here it's time I talk about this divorce in the Philippines. Oh, I came across a video today. I don't know why it came into my page because it's an old video, but I don't know if a lot of you guys saw this. So, um, you guys have to watch it with me. Actually, I want to show it to you guys. It's from our boy Calvin. Our boy Calvin. Yes, you can do a prenup. And actually, attorney Bernice, actually, that's something that she has recommended. And we actually talked about that a little bit. So, her law firm does that as also, and several other lawyers. Just find yourself a good lawyer. That's all I'd have to say. Why do you need to get married at all? Just date, girlfriend, boyfriend status. If something bad goes down, flight. Um, because that kind of mindset does not prepare you to what happens when you get older. And a lot of guys will say this, well, like when I get old, just fucking leave me behind. Okay. And you're gonna see some of those type of people. What's up, Michael? Mike, is the water situation critical or is it just seasonal? What do you mean by water situation? Oh, Filipina Canadian. Okay. Well, Overstate did a story about a friend that talked to 12 different Filipinas all in their 20s and all said they were widows. LOL. He said it's easy to get fake death certificates. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? And this was actually discussed. But here's the thing. So you get that, but let's say, for example, you want to take your Filipina to the US, for example, right? I mean, you have to look at it just basics, right? If somebody is 20 years of age and they already had a husband that is dead, how likely is that? Unless she's dating a foreigner who was 70. But if it was Filipino, how likely is that Filipino dying at 20, 30? Right? So if you then all of a sudden get with her, then now you're gonna take her back to your country. Let's say that's something you want to do. Well, then all that stuff will be discovered later on that it's fake when um the consulate starts researching it. So you know, common sense, right? Common sense. A lot of these girls, if you're trying to get a hood rat, if a lot of these girls, if you're trying to get low value, they help each other figure out the lie. You know what I'm saying? Watch it together. Okay, we will. To be honest, I don't know. For me wise, on the 8th, I'm gonna get some information on the 8th in Tampa for to see if I could qualify for dual citizenship. Yes. Yes. I mean, this is the funny part, right? Because let's say, for example, there's two Filipina lesbians together, right? Let's say the other lesbian feels that she's being abused by the other, she can use the Vauci law against the girl. So I'm just saying, it's multifaceted. Plus, I mean, if you really look at it, it's like just like any laws and stuff like that can be abused. So you have to be aware of it. So number one is you minimize the potential that you're with the wrong woman that might use that on you. The next thing you have to also look at is that it's a law that kind of assists with leveling up the other part that has problems in the Philippines between men can only be charged with women adultery, men only concubinage, and for the men, there's so much precedence that needs to be put in place to be able to get them situated in a concubinage charges. But the Vauci law kind of evens it out. But at the very same time, would I say even? I would say it puts them a little bit more on top. So then there should be other things. Now, um, there is there has been one case so far that's been shown, okay, that where a man can use Vauci charges on a woman, according to that Supreme Court case. It's a new one. It just happened, I think, within the last 6 months. So, technically, guys can use it as well. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'll probably look into it. Yeah, not unless she was with a foreigner that was older. Okay. Um, Here's a good example. South side of Chicago, Cabrini Green, right? Is that area dangerous? Yes. On the border of Cabrini Green and North Side. Is it dangerous? Yes, because you're just right on the border. Things can still happen. There are some parts of the node that they're starting to gentrificate, you can say, or just make it better, which is nice and all, but still, you're among other people that could be putting yourself in danger as well. So I would say yes. You can tour people. That's the thing. Just because it's a slum, just because there's violence in there, that doesn't mean you can't go on certain days and not get got, but you're increasing your chances to get got by people, which is dumb. Hey, Mike, I enjoyed the video that she posted earlier with the lawyer. Great information, but most of it I've already known and learned from your streams over the years. Yeah, you know what? I've covered a lot of those laws, right? And I've covered certain situations. But my main goal was to say, because what happens is, what's funny is like I'm talking about these stuff, and then a lot of guys like, man, you don't know shit, you don't know what you're reading, whatever, right? But me bringing in a lawyer, especially, you know, someone who has a good lineage background to confirm or to add more stuff to what I was saying, then it kind of verifies what I was kind of sharing, right? Mm-mm. Yeah, they bought a. I remember they bought a house, or I thought they rented it. That was like the last video I ever saw of them. The 190, well, that's when we're talking about a little bit earlier on today, Michael, the 194 to 195. 194 is the parental's duties, the parent's duties when you have a child, what you're supposed to provide for the child. That's 194. 195 is the particular law that says that, the child must take care of the parents. It's getting complicated in the Philippines? No, it's not getting complicated in the Philippines. It's always been complicated. The difference is these laws have been enacted for a while. Some of these laws are archaic during was carried over from the Spanish times. It's just coming up front now and people are seeing it. And you guys know that I've been talking about a lot about these type of laws. And every time I brought out a new law in the other channels, would be like, "Oh, he's just fear mongering." Yet then they cover those laws, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm glad that people are covering these things. Mm-mm. Yeah, they're not some good food trip parts, but at the same time, as you can still get those food elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those fires, for some reason happened because somebody left the light on, somebody had their stove on. Plus, also, don't forget, we can blame the fact that they're doing all those octopus wires, right? They be stealing electricity and stuff like that. So fires can start from there as well. I'm not saying fires are not started to get them out. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see, I post that. Almost put myself on timeout. You know what? That is so true. Yep, that's and attorney Bernice is, she's a mom. Just recently got married. She's got a little baby, cute little baby. But sometimes you have to give people something that they can listen to, right? We didn't start the fire. But anyways, okay. Hold on. So I'm gonna show this video, guys. Tell me what you guys think. So you know what? Like I said, fair use. But this is pretty interesting.
Back Sports Bar Grill, and we're gonna meet Mr. Sunshine Shoulders. And
This was like from a few months ago. Okay, I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen this. I know I've never seen it, and so this is pretty interesting.
we're gonna give this gift to her. Then let us see her
To her,
reaction. Let's go.
so I guess this is when Sunshine had a get together in Angeles City. The one on the purple shirt. So he's like, I got a gift? Let me ask this question. How many people here has seen this video? Put a 1 if you've seen this video. Put a 2 if you did not see the video. Okay. So Calvin's all happy. All happy and stuff like that. He's got a gift. He got himself a gift.
Can you please open it for us? Okay.
Can you please open it for us? He's like, okay. Not knowing what's going to happen.
We would like to see your reaction.
They want to see his reaction. What's in the box? What's in the box? What do you got? What do you get him? What do you get him?
Yeah, can you guess? Can you guess?
You got him. Oh! Are those slippers?
Really? This is a joke?
Can you give a message to
Oh,
Tom? Tom, I'm the
the moment the guy said, Tommy Lechon. Look at that face.
Oh, Tom, the child.
Tom gave you that gift.
You a hater, man. You need to come over here and quit all of that.
He says, you need to come over.
$8,000 the way brothers need to be getting along, man. You got enough of that foolishness over in America. Grow up, man. Come over.
Tom is coming. Tom is coming.
I don't want he's a troll, man.
A few moments later.
You know it, nigga. Don't act stupid. Don't act stupid. And stay off the channel, nigga. You don't know her name. Ricky Lee. Okay, you know. Go ahead, man. All right. Well, don't play with me, man. I'll play with you and have fun. Okay, well, don't play with me, though. I'm not the one you came to see, though. Oh, right? Yeah, I ain't come to see nobody. I'm here. I was invited. Okay, all right. Well, you got your man.
Was he invited though? I'm not too sure. But he says he's invited. But then again, technically, he was invited, right? Because didn't Calvin says he should just come over? So then again, he was invited. Oops, hold on. Well, there you go. Shake the hands. Shake his hands. I haven't seen this part.
I know that's what I do. Trolling? I'm not trolling you. I'm talking about the internet, man. What you talking about?
I'm just saying, interesting video. What are your takes? I don't know. What's up, Mike?
What is up?
I just saw I never heard about this video. It just came to my feed literally today
I saw
while
it
I was at the gym.
only because I was following the meet. It was a Sunshine Shoulders and Sharon Lapu Lapu were supposed to do a joint meet and greet in Angeles City.
Okay.
And then at like the last minute, Sunshine Shoulders said he was going to back out because he's afraid of flying. He doesn't like to fly. But he eventually came up, did a meet and greet, totally ditched Sharon Lapu Lapu. All right. And he has a beef of some sort with Tom Yum Lechon.
Okay.
All right. So that's really all I know. It's something about, I guess at one point in time, he was a big proponent of Sunshine Shoulders and he followed him and he was one of his, whatever. And then the two of them, he kind of got like put to the back burner and he didn't appreciate it or something like that. But,
got it.
But then here's the really interesting part. All right. A couple of weeks later, it seems like maybe a week or two later, I go to breakfast 2 days a week at Tequila Reef. I'm in the trike coming home. There's a car in front of me and a trike in front of him. And we go up Fields Avenue and there's a right-hand turn. Okay. And turning into that right-hand lane is the trike. And, on the back of these trikes, it's not like, how in a lot of the provinces, the trikes are big. You can get in through the back. They're, in Angeles City, they're small.
Yeah.
All right. And the backs are solid most of the time. All right. On the back of that cab portion of the trike is like an advertisement. Like, like you would see when the mayor is running and when the councilman is, elections for the barangay. Tom Yum Lechon. He's doing mobile advertising for his YouTube channel. Have you ever seen his channel?
I've come across his channel. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's not my cup of tea, there's a particular segment of men who would be into the type of people that's being interviewed there.
Yeah.
Lots of corporal clingers being interviewed over there. But hey, listen, there is a place for that for some people. Let that be, but it's just not my cup of tea. Now he does have a new channel though.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and this is my thing, right? So if a lot of people are not familiar, like, everyone will say like stuff like, there's those rumors where Filipina P has a gentleman in the background that handles the editing, that handles the content and stuff like that, right? There's that, but it's never been fully proven. But you have this channel in Cebu called Filipina Lipstick.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay, so in Filipina Lipstick, when it first came out, you had Claire and you had, I forgot the other girl's name, who's Filipina Elated, if I'm correct. Filipina Elated, and both of them used to be in that channel interviewing other girls and everything, and some foreigners, and doing lives. Eventually, then you saw them in the panel for Calvin, both of them. Eventually they started their own channels individually. Okay. And so turns out to be Filipina Lipstick is actually owned by an older foreigner who then pays Filipinas to interview other Filipinas. So this guy owns a channel, then he hires Filipinas to do that. But what happened was, according to Claire, was that she got sick actually, and she had pneumonia, I guess, and she was in the hospital, and I guess there was a flood of super chats and PayPals. The guys were sending into the channel that was saying, hey, here's for Claire's treatment, here's for this, because a lot of these guys did not know that there was a guy in the background who owned the channel. So turns out, but the guy never gave the money that was allotted for Claire to her. He kept the money.
Oh, really?
According to Claire, and she has her own channel, Filipina City Girl. And so, they separated, they left, they started their own channels now. So that's that. So that's the first confirmed channel where it's owned by a foreigner hiring Filipinas. Now you have another channel that's owned by Ace Bachelor Cool.
Yeah. In fact, if you look in the Discord, I just sent a picture just now. All right.
I know. I posted the link to that channel early on.
No. I just sent a picture 30 seconds ago.
Okay, I'll take a look at it afterwards.
In the Discord about my day yesterday.
Okay.
And my day yesterday includes Ace Bachelor Cool.
Got it. Okay, I'll take a look at it.
I know where you're going with. He has the whiteboard girl.
Yeah. Well, no, there's like different girls in there. Like different girls are doing their own whiteboard. So you know what? And listen, here's the thing, right? More power to them. Another channel.
Yeah.
Right? Another niche. Like guys maybe will listen more to women, right? So maybe you just have them decimate your same content, but have a woman do it for you. And then now you also have Tom Yum, who also has his own similar type of channel, where he has the girls that are normally being interviewed or interviewing in his channel having their own channel now. I'm gonna guess it's his also. So just because of how it kind of occurs. So I mean, listen, I mean, it's they're looking at it as a business model, well, and I think I have to give it to them.
I do as well. I talked with. I've got a video coming out. All right, and I actually spoke with Ace yesterday, but my morning was very interesting because of you're talking about the alphabets.
Okay.
All right. I'm sitting on the. We're sitting. It's Philly in the Philippines and I, and a couple of other people were having breakfast. Okay. And people think we gossip about other YouTubers and stuff like that. We really talk about worldwide shit. And, I think yesterday's big conversation, we were talking about Philly's issue with shingles. All right.
Ooh.
And the fact that he's moving to the province. And here's some screaming and yelling at my name.
Okay.
And I look out in the middle of the street, at 9:00 in the morning. All right. It's Overstay Road.
Interesting. Okay.
9:00 in the morning, Overstay. That's the picture I just sent of part of our little meeting. Okay. It's Overstay. Shirt unbuttoned all the way down, wide open, sort of. Hey!
That early? That early?
Hammered. All right. And so, you know me, I'm like, Marcos, haven't seen ya. Let me buy you a margarita. And so he comes over, he comes in. Hey, how you doing? And then we had some company join us.
Okay.
If you look at the photo, you'll see it took him a minute to realize what it was. I mean, and she's massaging his back.
Oh, okay. This turn up, and I already know what you're talking about.
I just did this.
No, I know. I'm looking at the girl. I know this is not a girl. This is a Corporal Klinger.
No shit. That's what I'm saying. But he didn't realize it he was so drunk. It was so funny. But he was really a nice guy about it once he did. I have to admit, not the usual Marcos.
If they got the best of you, then they got the best of you, right? So that's you have to that's why you have to be drunk or not drunk. You have to be aware.
Yeah, and she's a regular down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she has like 2 friends, and they walk around. You see them every morning. But anyways, so that's how my morning started.
Interesting.
And then Ace Bachelor Cool was my afternoon. So it was an interesting day.
Yeah, I'm looking at the photo. It looks like Marco was having fun that morning.
Oh yeah.
I think he started like nighttime and made it to the morning. Like this
no. I asked him, I said, when did you get here? And he said, yesterday. And I said, have you had any sleep yet? And he said, why would you sleep in Angeles City? I have to go back to the province tomorrow.
He's making the most out of it though, man. So good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. If some of you guys are wanting to see the photo, you're gonna have to join the Discord to see this one. These are specialty stuff. But yeah, it's just so hey, how about this?
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw Ace other than that day?
Oh, I run into Ace now and again, not often. I want to say the last time I ran into him was about 5-6 weeks ago.
Have you ever asked him, what's up with that, I'm not saying trolling, that advertising the advertising he does in our lives sometimes. Ace Bachelor Cool, #2 YouTuber. I'm like, just cam up, dude. Make comments.
It's you know what? I think I give him a lot of credit, believe it or not. He's developed a niche. He's making money. He's growing.
Yeah,
bigger than I am, that's for sure. But he is doing YouTube the way he wants to do YouTube, and he thinks that is popping into the channel, getting his name in front of people, and then going to the next one and the next one and the next one. And I mean, that's what he does. Yeah. I don't think he does lives at all. And when I say that, I mean, I've never seen him in somebody's live stream and I know I've never seen him do a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But I mean, I run into him probably once a month, once every 6 weeks or so. He's pretty straight up guy, to be honest with you.
I met him. I've met him also.
Yeah.
I met him as well. He was very chill. Not loud at all. Just chill. I mean,
exactly.
Andy was trying to get us drunk that night. I was, he was taking everything that Andy, would give him as a drink and stuff like that. So I mean, kudos to that. I wasn't partaking in all those craziness. So he's a very chill guy, this and that. For me, the only thing I have sometimes, because the way his advice is meant for girls that are, we know what type of girls in Angeles City. So so for me, I made one video about him. I was like, well, technically, this is not how Filipinas are. This is how Angeles, those type of girls are. I think that's where it needs to be. The thing though is, there's going to be guys listening to that And number one is not his fault. He's giving his reality on what he sees, the type of girls that he surrounds himself with. That's what works. So, but the thing though is there's guys going to be coming into the Philippines listening to what he says, looking for a good girl, and it's just not going to work on those girls, right? So
but you know what? He makes no for him, it's this is how you're single and you stay single and you have fun single in Angeles.
Yep.
I don't, that type of advice is not going to work well for a guy in Cebu, all right, or a guy in wherever. And it's not going to work well at all for a guy that's looking for a relationship. And it is really tuned into guys that just want to boom, boom every other day. Different girl.
Exactly. Like even I was like, one of the girls on his new channel, the whiteboard channel that he has for all girls, like she put like having a high IQ on Filipinas, and there was like one choice of like is it beach, is it this is like on a date, where do you take a Filipina on a date, and there was like 4 choices. And the Filipina chooses, I forgot what she chose. And I'm like, that's not what the beach with the picnic is the one that's going to work. That's the one that most Filipinas want. I'm like, not the other ones. If you're going to choose out of all those, so it's like, but yeah, but the thing is, people like you, people like me, and there's a good amount of people here that, that's been around, that'll be like, yeah, we know what type of, what that content is for. We know what that entails in regards to what type of women it is. If you want to date those type of women, so, shout out to Calvin, with Bar Girls Make Good Housewives. It's like, but there's going to be a lot of guys who really don't have the proper information, and they're going to,
we were talking a little bit yesterday, and he said some really interesting things. I mean, I'm not going to go into it because, he's his own vlogger and I don't want to say stuff, but he did say some interesting things yesterday when we were chatting. And I mean, they were things that made you think, something. There's more to Ace than what you see here. There's more to his perception of women and the game in Angeles City than you see. It was pretty good. I mean, he's a nice enough guy. Tom Yum, Lechon, I have no idea I don't know him at all. First I saw was of that whole event was this meet and greet that him and Sharon Lapu-Lapu were supposed to do, and somehow they got separated from each other.
Well, Sharon and Calvin have always had problems.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, so Sharon feels that Calvin disrespected her.
Then why were they doing a joint meet and greet?
So she felt that he disrespected her in one of his lives. And she obviously made a few videos talking about Calvin, whatever, this and that. She actually asked to, come to my channel to talk about it. And I told her, I said, listen, we already had the interview before we had the conversation. I think that if it's something between you and Calvin, even though like, me and Calvin had our, spitting back and forth, this and that. And I told her, I said, my channel is not meant for you to share your problems about another vlogger and use my channel as a way to put out stuff, because I don't know the inner workings of what happened between you and Calvin. And she respected that. So there was that moment. Calvin said something about because her age in a way and a little bit being dusty, kind of, right?
She's no spring chicken.
So she took that as an offense, which okay, I get it. And then that's my thing. I was like, after she's telling me that she wants to expose Calvin, and then I was like, I'm not getting into that stuff. And then she put a couple of those videos, I guess, about Calvin, this and that. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, I hear that all of a sudden she's like, she does a 180, and then now is like talking good about Calvin and having all this stuff. And I was like, that don't make sense. Like, if you already put your stand in, I'm like, did you squash your beef, whatever, and everything? That don't make sense to me. Because if you did, then you should have taken down your other videos about him. If you're trying to do that, and then eventually, and then once again, it happened again. I guess maybe she felt disrespected on the way he talked to her or something, or the way he did not respond to her. And then she didn't put out more videos about the disagreement. And that's where I guess it landed in regards to them not having to get together.
I don't know. I mean,
So,
I don't watch Calvin. I mean, it pops up once in a while. I put it
Mhm.
on for a minute. I'm out of there. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch Sharon because she really doesn't have content for me. But I have no problem with her. I mean, she just is what she is. I think what's more interesting with all of it is, rather than people, I think, you don't understand, and certainly I don't until recently,
Mhm.
just how complicated Philippine YouTube is.
It is.
They are interconnected. I mean, you've got Tom Yum's got this other girl, Oprah or whatever, that I somehow affiliated. You've got people interconnected with other people. You've
Mhm.
got like this lipstick thing with other, he's sponsoring guys. There's always been, there's always been, back to the very beginning, rumors of how a certain large Filipina YouTuber got
Mhm.
started by being
Yeah.
sponsored by a foreigner, and you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But either way, I think it really and truly comes out to that. It becomes an issue where YouTubers are far more complicated than people seem to, understand. It's like they don't recognize. I think a lot of people don't recognize we don't have to try to run into each other. It's a small fucking world.
It will
Excuse my
happen
language.
eventually. If if it will happen eventually, it's happened.
It does.
Like I said,
Go ahead.
just like in English and stuff like that. I ran into Philly, not trying to,
Yeah.
right? I ran into Marco. I ran into what's his name? That has a restaurant by the hotel now.
Poppy Drake.
Yeah, I've ran.
Mark.
Yeah, I've ran into him and his woman and stuff like that. So
Eric.
it is very small. And I've ran into a couple bigger YouTubers that are not really fully into the foreigner niche, but I've ran into them in Boracay. I've ran into some, and then you recognize each other. You're like, hey,
Yeah. And
and
people don't realize, we don't even try. I've never set up a meeting
Mm.
with anybody except one person and that wasn't me that did it. I had another YouTuber that invited two other YouTubers to come talk to me.
Gotcha.
And one of them bailed out at the last minute. But I've never set up going to meet anybody. And then all of a sudden, I run into Philly because I have breakfast same place. All right. But I run into Andy. I run into Marcos, Eric and Mercy from Poppy's. I've run into you. That was a meeting we did set up. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we did.
All right, at ABC, we did that in advance. But I mean, I've seen Tom Yum Lechon in public.
I never have.
I've seen him in public. I've seen him at the mall,
Mhm.
and I've seen him walking down the street.
Got it.
Who else have ran into? Who's the guys from Croatia or something like that? Hungary.
Hungry Syrian?
Big Joe.
Oh, Big Joe. Okay.
I ran into him when he was here. You know, I mean, people just don't realize we do run into each other.
Mhm.
It happens.
Yep. I completely agree. But let me just answer this one thing. So Edgar, so Simple Man says, I watched a few videos and realized, no, not that one. That's about ladyboys. No, there was somebody saying that, in regards in that video about Calvin, that he was trying to de-escalate the situation. I think Calvin was trying to de-escalate that situation. He did try to give his hand for a handshake. Tom Yum did not accept it, so I would think that it's Calvin's get together, so there has to be respect given. At least maybe Calvin giving up the olive branch for a handshake. I think that the least he could have done was that. But then once again, I don't know what the inner workings are between those two. So
I don't know. That was a publicly advertised meet and greet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, he advertised it also?
Oh, yeah. That was an advertised meet and greet.
Oh.
Calvin advertised that meet and greet.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. It was like right down the street from where I live. I didn't go, but that was a publicly advertised meet and greet.
Got it. It's racist even showing this video. How is it racist?
How is that racist?
Come on now, Mark. None of that woke DEI stuff in this channel, please.
I'm not sure about that. I don't see how that's racist.
No, it's not.
If that's racist, then Calvin needs to quit talking about white people. Okay.
Bars.
No, I'm just saying, it's no different. It really isn't. It's all men. It's all about men and women. We don't look at color when not recently.
Simple Man's Journey. What's up, brother? What's up, brother?
What's up?
No, if you watch streaming gamers and stuff like that, that's a new thing. I don't know if Simple Man's trying to do that.
I don't know.
What's up, brother?
I don't know. That was something that surprised me.
What was?
I don't watch the Canadian couple. It's that just recently broke up. I don't watch them. But hey, once in a while it pops in my feeds. Turns out she's a big cosplay and gamer.
Interesting. Okay. But maybe her value went up in the Philippines, right? Because she's a good-looking girl. She is Phil Canadian. She's a Phil Can. So maybe she's gonna get some.
I don't know. I mean, all I can do is tell you everything that's already. Nothing that I know is anything. Probably most of the commenters right now know more about than me. I really don't watch. I watched them. You know what was funny when I watched them was when they were moved in their first house. They moved in their first house after they left Boracay. And they were in, I guess it was Iloilo. I can't remember where it is. But anyways, they moved in their first house and they were having these huge issues with electricity and termites.
Okay.
And I was watching them because I'm always interested to know because we've got a house, all right, down in the province. So I'm always interested to watch house issues and,
Wait, especially
electrical.
if you have that provincial house, you have to worry about. That's one thing. That's one of the biggest killers in the houses in the Philippines is the termites, the
It is.
stuff like that.
It is. I mean, we have hollow block frame construction and everything else, but in the kitchen we have wood, and we found a termite trail in there, and then after it was less than 2 years old, we had to have it taken care of.
See, AJ says Sharon's content is more of rehashing stuff that other YouTuber content creators that are here have put out. I think you see that in the general sense with a lot of people. But as long as you add your own thoughts, like Mike, you always add your own thoughts on similar subjects that a lot of people have covered, but you add stuff. Just like what I'm trying to do with the lawyer stuff. I'm like, I brought in the lawyer. I'm like, let the lawyer speak now. I'm like, so that kind of confirms that. The only thing, I mean, I'm not a fashionista or anything like that. The only thing I would suggest for Sharon, with respect, is stop wearing the knee-high boots in the Philippines. That's the only thing I would suggest. And if you, I'm not saying I'm a fashionista, but when you wear knee-high boots, it has to be tight on your legs. It's not supposed to be loose like that. I'm just saying, right, in regards to that. But
I don't even want that. I don't. I mean, you know what? I think she again is representative of somebody trying to make a living, and her niche or whatever is persona, her character is what it is, and how she develops it. And it's just, if I wanted to be a single guy to look at a woman that was going to stand over me with a whip and a riding crop, and that's just not going to cut it for me. That's what those boots remind me of. I mean, if I want to see that, I can go to Walking Street in any bar, and those girls have got boots.
But with respect, with those higher, but like, here's the thing: if you're in Chicago during the winter, and let's say you sit in the back of a Catholic church, okay, all right, it's easy to spot the Filipinas that just came off fresh off the boat, the fobs. The easiest way to spot a Filipina fob in the church from the back is they're wearing knee-high black boots. Like, really? Oh, Filipina. Like, that's when you, for the younger guys back in and it still happens until now in Chicago. So, like, it's funny, like, when we go to church sometimes, and after church or before church, hang out with some friends and be like, all right, who's going to get the new Filipina? Because she's new. And, like, we can literally spot the Filipina in a Catholic church in Chicago, anywhere in the Chicago or the suburbs, when they're fresh off the boat. Like, has anybody hooked up with her yet? No, not yet. Okay. So it's kind of messed up to think of it that way, but it's funny. Let me hold on. Brian 300, what's up, man? You can come aboard also and come up because you said you were talking all that stuff that you're gonna debate me, man. There's a thing. Come up, brother. Let's see here. Mike, are you watching the chat on the FRC channel? The Filipina Reaction channel? No, anything, any chat that comes up on both of the channels will show on my feed here. It'll show on my feed here. Have you met Scotty Boy?
Yeah.
Mike, you've met him? I've only interviewed him.
I mean, yeah, I met him, and it wasn't even an interview, to be honest with you. That was a meeting that was arranged between someone else. That was a meeting that was arranged between a very large blogger, all right, here, and myself, Scotty, and another blogger.
Got it.
And I guess Scotty and this other guy don't get along well at all.
Mm,
So so
that's interesting.
I showed up, but he did not. But Scotty showed up, and quite honestly, he's a little socially awkward, but he was a nice enough guy.
Yeah, he does. He does show that on his screen, especially when he's interacting with people. He does have a little bit of that, but I think he kind of overrides it by being talkative and all that stuff, and then at the same time he's a good storyteller. I know that enough.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a nice. I mean, we met. We had breakfast for about an hour away from everybody else. Actually, it was right here at Candy Palace. All right. We met up for coffee and breakfast, and it was a nice meeting. I was, especially, I mean, one of my best performing videos is bashing Scotty. So considering that, it came out fine.
There you go. I mean, Scott and I had our own kind of, I've interviewed him and stuff like that, and I think it was a decent interview. I didn't agree with a lot of stuff that he says, but he took it and he took it as it is, and made his stuff and stuff like that. So that's it. But there are things that of all vloggers, for me wise, I think Scotty's gonna be one of the first ones that could potentially have a problem with the government. That's just me saying that. I honestly feel that there could be a point sometimes where he has crossed the lines a couple times, where I think that if the wrong person watches that video, I think that he may have some trouble, but we have to be accountable for our own actions. Just like Brian here. Mike, do you see your monitor's actions to my comments? Look, Brian, stop whining if you want cam up. That's why my monitors are there. They do what they have to do. I don't know what they took out.
You know what's funny? I'm in the StreamYard studio.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the chat.
You can't?
No.
Oh, you know what I did though? Hold on a second here. I know what happened there. Hold on.
So I keep flipping back and forth between.
No. The reason why that happened is I did an interview, and I had someone monitoring the interview from the back, and I didn't want him to accidentally say something on the chat. Hold on a second here. You guys can stream this. Let me activate this again. Guest see viewers, comments, and posts. Okay, there you go. It's on now.
Now I can see it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
So, your monitor's out of line. Aww.
Why are they out of line? I mean, they're just asking him to cam up. He said he would cam up, didn't he, the other day?
You were there when he was talking all that over at Andy's channel, and so if you have the time to comment, Brian 300 plus, that means you have time to cam up. You have time to comment. No more fobs, right? They're boba now brought over by airplane. Fresh up the boats. Okay, got it. So boba is brought over to airplane. I haven't heard boba used ever in a while, or actually never have heard it.
Brought over by airplane.
So Mike Ross says, is there an example of a Filipino YouTube who isn't doing it for the money? I think that, at any given point, you do want to get compensated for your time. I think that if people are watching, why not? No matter what, YouTube's going to put an advertising on your channel anyways and make money off of you. And if you're monetized, why not make some money out of it? The super chats still get me, the membership still get me, the stickers still get me when people do that. I was like, I'm still surprised that I'm like, who am I? right?
Yeah.
That you want to do those extra things. The fact that you're watching, that's a great thing. And so that, and I think that's where it is a lot of these Filipinos are using it for entertainment. They truly are. And so the problem is that if it's for entertainment of the viewers fully, if that's really their North Star of their channel, then at the same time is they're letting you hear what you want to hear. They're not going to let you hear what you don't want to hear. So that's the problem, where it is a fantasy by far majority, in my opinion.
Well, I think another part of that, to be honest with you, Mike, it doesn't take much to replace a daily wage for a Filipino or Filipina in the Philippines. And, you know, somebody like you and I, we do this out of a passion. Okay. The money doesn't mean anything. It's not, you know, it's an after effect. It doesn't even come close to paying for the cost. But
it's my Starbucks money. I have to be honest. It's my Starbucks money.
Yeah. All right. But for some Filipinos, if you're think of it like this, you see these girls that are in the province, if they make 35, 45 cents on a video, but they do 20, 30 of them a week or whatever, I mean, sooner or later, it does become an act. You know, they may start it as a hobby. They may start it because they're bored, but sooner or later, they can replace a nothing job.
Yeah, it's the new Sari store for Filipinas.
Yes, that's a perfect example.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. It's like, you know, it's like if you go to your neighborhood in the province or whatever, or even like in Angeles City, somebody opens up a Sari store. They see that you're maybe doing good, or they think they have the mentality, oh, I think they're doing good. They're going to open one up right in front of you, or even right next to you in the same house. Yes. Like, that's what's going to happen. So what's happening now is a lot of these Filipinas, you know, and, you know, shout out to the Filipina P. She set the precedence on this. So now, you know, all these Filipinos are like, wait, what? Oh, and these Filipinos probably be watching this and they'll be like, oh, super chat. Oh, PayPal. Oh, buy me a coffee. And they're going to say, I'm going to open up one too. And when they do open up, guys do come.
Yes.
And then you have a couple girls, Steph, Gela, and stuff like that. And they're like, well, they looked at the niche and they said, how do we do it better? How do we increase whatever? Well, they decided to do another type of marketing, and they use a different marketing strategies, and it worked also, and it's piquing guys as well. And that's what you get right there. And so I can't hate on that.
Here's what's funny to me. All right. And a lot of the commenters may not understand this, but you will for sure. All right. You use vidIQ or TubeBuddy, one of those two?
TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy. Okay. So I use vidIQ. Same thing. They do the same thing. All right. You look at these Filipina YouTubers. They are getting more and more advanced in channel tags, video tags, hashtags. I personally literally had to take time to try and even understand it. But by God, these girls are getting it. They're devoting time, some of them, not all of them, obviously. But what I am saying is they're actually putting forth a good amount of effort, even though the content might be, you know, my banana has ridges. All right. Maybe that's the content. But the technical part is picking up.
No, I think, but if you pay attention, like I said, like I even said this early on before you came aboard, the title of the week is men are, you know, in regards for, I forgot the title, but they're all copying the title. Yes. So that's what they're doing. It's the same title or the same, almost same stuff put on the thumbnail and stuff like that. Because the subject of this week is foreigners are not wanted no more by Filipinas. That's the subject this week of all these Filipino vloggers. Same exact one. So I don't know who's the first one to put up and stuff like that, or who was the second one and stuff like that. But that's what they're doing. I think they're just playing off on the algorithm. And once again, that's just one of the hacks. Heck, you go watch a lot of these, vidIQ YouTube channels, TubeBuddy YouTube channels. They actually do suggest that.
Oh yes,
to copy channels. The titles and stuff like that. If that's what's going on, I try not to do that. If a lot of people used to watch, for example, Black Filipino, so I'm sure some people watch Black Filipino as well. Jay and everything like that. If you pay attention, Jay was the first one before Sunshine, and Sunshine used to verbatimly copy Jay's titles also. And but that's the game. That's the one that you're hearing in YouTube that is being taught. And, oh, Brian, are you still complaining, Mike? Your moderator is out of control. Why is he restricting my comments? He's being very vindictive for no reason. I said nothing wrong. Bye, Mike. Because we've been telling you to cam up, and you won't.
Somebody put him in timeout.
And I think they just maybe a couple of his comments were taken out. I haven't seen it actually, but.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. But I mean, if you look at YouTube, all right, they tell you look at trending, look at this, look at that, and you look at TubeBuddy and vidIQ. They tell you to emulate trending. All right, pick these trendings and move them around and everything else, and then even that, even though I'm banned over at Antics, I watch them still. All right. I still watch them. And their YouTube manager told them, dig into whatever is relevant and at the top of the list. And that is where you're going to go get views. That's what they said anyways. Okay. So, yeah. It is. And I think you can't blame anybody for doing that.
No.
They're out there getting clicks. And I wonder, is the population of the number of viewers so large that 20 people can put out the same title, and yet every one of them is going to have viewers that they're seeing it for the first time?
Or maybe it's not the content, but the things that they can watch. It's a different flavor for each one of the girls.
That may be, yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Or maybe the picture of the eggplant is better on the thumbnail. They got a nice ripe banana instead of a bruised one or something.
I know it's interesting, and for me wise, I can look at it in several different ways, and I've made my points in regards to what I think about what they do and stuff like that. Here's my thing though. If it's entertainment and you're willing to put yourself out there that way, as a woman, which women get more emotional, you can't complain when people talk bad about you.
No.
If you put the cheeks out and clap it for people, if you wear certain outfits and that, like, you can't then all of a sudden say respect me. Like, you can ask for it. There's people that will, but then there's people that's not going to, and that's part of the things where sometimes women can't handle that stuff. If they get called out on certain things. So
I don't. I don't know. I don't know what the real answer for that is, Mike, to be honest with you. I think what happens is that these women put this stuff out there. And, I found it interesting that the guy, who was it? Sezzy Kelly or whatever it was.
Dave.
It's a character. All right. It's a character. It's this, it's that. Well, it's a reflection also. But what I found sad was, or not sad, but why is that a bad thing? If it's a reflection of you, then own up to it. If the shoe fits, wear it.
And to add to that is that art imitates life, or life imitates art. Okay, so if this is your art that you put out, well, then that's what's going to happen. People are going to view you as that person. It's no difference than people see an actor. They won't call you by your real name as an actor. They'll call you on a particular character that they admired you on, or they seen you on. And so that's the problem of like being able to separate yourself from that. You really can't. But in regards for that Sizzy Kelly thing and that Dave guy, which made me laugh, was that he was the one getting butthurt.
He did, and I don't really get it, to be honest. I got to be honest with you. I just don't get it. And I know that my feelings, my opinions on bar girls, hookers, freelancers, sluts, whatever, are far different than most everybody else. Okay.
Or even mine. And we've had those conversations, right? We have certain things that kind of meshes in, we agree on, but there's certain things you're like, okay, well, this is my level in this. And I think that that's where the conversation should be put in place and have those. And then in the end, right, no matter what we think, or no matter what we share, no matter what we whatever, it's still up to the individual person that watches a video to make a determination on what they really truly want.
Yeah. All right. But the part with Dave was he started off representing and protecting his girl, I guess is the best word for it. Okay. And then he started to backtrack a little bit. Not backtrack, but he started to become defensive.
Yeah.
And he should not have. He should have become offensive. He should have said, look, you know what? This is my girlfriend. This is what she does. And who are you to judge what she does? But he never stood forward enough to say that outright. And you know what? He's a young guy. So time will learn, how that works with him. But either way, I think that everybody on YouTube gets judged. Everybody gets judged. I mean, I get judged. You get judged. Arlene won't even hardly get on the channel. All right. She just, just because of stuff that happened back in the beginning of our channel. So, I mean, everybody gets judged. And if you don't have the ability to stand for what you believe in, that's a problem. And that's where I think people hit limitations.
Yeah. And that's where it is. It's like and then the thing though is like, if you're going to do this, it's like I think the first thing, like if you're going to start a channel, there should be the first video to watch is like, just be prepared. Like YouTube should be like, you're going to have thicker skin. Like I honestly feel that YouTube needs to put a content out there. You have to watch this video before you start a channel. Once you decide to create one, is like, is this seriously something that you can handle? Because if you really can't, it's going to get to you. And it's gotten to a lot of people. And that's why some people have, directly quit YouTube and stuff like that. And just like any job or any business that you have, I always, you have to take time off. I've taken my month and a half sabbatical. I just went, a few days of not making any content. Like you have to have your time off as well, because it can get to you as well. And at the same time, it's like, that Dave guy, he really got affected. He got so affected, he came over to her channel and I guess said, let's do a live. And they did 3 lives in a row.
I missed that. I actually went to bed because I was still feeling bad. I was still a little sick, And so afterwards I said, I'm going to go take a nap. And then I got up from my nap and Arlene made dinner. And then I looked and I said, oh man, I missed all of this.
You know, so I'm like, I'm still waiting for my invite for a live over there, but
I don't
it's
think
funny
you're gonna get it.
because he's like, okay, Michael. Well, next time we do a live, because we're not using Streamlabs. He said the word Streamlabs. We're not using Streamlab right now. You should come up, because I called him. I said, hey, you lying? I didn't say that stuff. And he goes, oh well, maybe I mistook you. Next time, whatever. And then he added live the second time, and I was like, what? And then a live the third time. So I was like, okay, whatever. But my thing was, there's people in the chat was saying, don't let him in. He's gonna make you look bad in your channel. I'm like, oh, good Lord. I swear.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get an invite over there. I really don't.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at Dave and then that Kuya John guy and stuff like that, it's like you can kind of get some, or like, is this synonymous with a lot of these new guys coming to the Philippines? Because they're younger cats.
I wonder, because I will tell you right now. All right, now I got to be, look, all things being equal, we have not been out to the bars in a month. I've been sick. All right, getting better. The last time we went out to the bars, a lot more younger guys, far younger than, and in far bigger numbers than we've seen. So I think the demographic is partially changing. All right. Is that representative also of the guys that are coming over for more than just Angeles? Because Angeles is an aberrant blip on the radar. All right. It is not representative of guys, really, I don't think, that are coming to explore the Philippines. They're coming to explore Punani.
Yeah, I mean, but heck, go to Siargao. Like, there's this, there's this I don't know if some of you guys have seen this, like, but there's this bridge in Siargao, right? It's called the International. There's dubbed International Lovers Bridge, right? But if you go to Siargao, for example, you're gonna see dozens and dozens of young Caucasian females with their Filipino boyfriends, like dozens. Okay, and I'm not, maybe some of them from America, some of them, but a lot of them mainly are European women, right? And beautiful looking girls too, and stuff like that. But Siargao, Surigao, and stuff like that. There's a lot of other places in the Philippines where Philippines starting to become more and more of a destination thing and a place to go for a lot of younger people. It's starting to be a known fact. And then, of course, we have to add the passport bro movement, where younger guys are sick and tired of dating, I guess, in their particular countries. And Philippines is starting to be that place. But the problem with a lot of these guys, these younger guys, is there's a higher chance that they have lesser critical thinking skills. I'm not saying that all older people have critical thinking skills. There's a good amount that never really learned it. But when you're younger, you kind of lack that. And so the problem with the younger generation, in my opinion, is then they start watching videos that are coming from the older generation, which doesn't apply to them. So it can create havoc when they arrive in the Philippines. And so I don't know, like, seeing that Kuya John guy demanding my apologies, begging for my apologies.
Steph is on.
Steph who?
Steph Filipinas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Hello, Mike. I have, hope you're doing well. Just watched the video. Look a few comments up.
Okay, I see it. Almost 2 hours of talking. Anyways, thank you again. Video when you interviewed me. Wow, that's a lot of video. Almost 2 hours. Yeah, we had a lot. We had a long conversation. Stuff. Huh?
That was a good interview.
Yeah, it was a good interview. And that's my thing. I think, and I told her in the interview, I don't know if you're still here, Steph, so you can come up if you want to. And I told her in the interview, and I said, listen, I was like, you know what? I'd rather know you rather than make comments and stuff like that. And she voiced it out clearly that it's an entertainment. She's aware of how things works. And whatever she's gonna put out there, it is what it is,
Yeah,
and she approaches it as a business.
And you know what? Respect.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm talking about. And I mean, she sees it as a business. She's making a business out of it. She's
Mhm.
doing well. All right. I think that's great. I really and truly do. I think she
Yeah.
deserves all the success that she can get going down that niche. And that's not to say, that's not to say she can't change her niche. She can't
Yep.
make it different at another time. I mean, look at let's see here, Tracy Lords. There's a good example. She
I have no
changed
idea
her
who
niche.
Tracy Lords is.
Huh?
Who's Tracy Lords? I seriously don't see. Now you're gonna make me Google it. Hold on a second. Let me just hold on.
And Steph, if you're listening, don't Google her because I'm not talking like you're like her.
Okay, well, she's old now. 1968 born. Oh, actress, singer, and former. Well, she better be former. She's 50. Okay, so she was in Blade. She was in. Okay, so she became like an actor.
Yeah, but you don't know the backstory.
What's the backstory on her?
All right, so she was actually contracted by a company called Swedish Erotica at one point when she first started. Turned out her first 17 movies.
Okay.
You want to call them movies?
Sure.
She was all underage.
Ooh.
They had to pull them from the stores nationwide in the U.S.
Interesting.
All right. And then a couple of years later, she started doing them again.
Uh-huh.
And then transitioned to regular movies.
Yeah, there's a couple of those that did that already. Actually one of them is living in the Philippines now because a friend of mine was her makeup artist. Her name. Not Mimi Miyagi, because Mimi Miyagi lives in the Philippines now too.
Yeah,
But she goes back
Miyagi
and
knows
forth.
who I'm talking about. Miyagi
No,
he knows who I'm talking about.
Not Miyagi. Mimi Miyagi.
No. Miyagi just commented.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go all the way down. Let me see, it hasn't posted yet.
Miyagi
Okay,
says,
she was 15. Got it. She was 15.
Yeah. So Miyagi says Swedish Erotica, that's an old school, Mike. Let me tell you something. The guy that owned a company called Noble News,
Okay.
all right, in America, his son was my roommate, and Noble News was the U.S. distributor for Swedish Erotica. His son was my college undergraduate roommate.
So you were in Arizona. So you were in a certain field over there. You probably ran into this girl. I'm not sure if you ran into her. Okay. So once again, Barcelona. So you meet some interesting people there.
You're not talking about the lifestyle, the coaching girl, the girl that coaches.
The girl that coaches. What do you mean?
She has a channel talking about how to date men and what men are looking for.
Yeah, I did a review on her, right? I did a reaction, right? Yeah, that girl. Okay. So but anyways, I was in Barcelona also, and you just meet people, hang out with people. So we were chilling at this, we were chilling with some people, right by the the fire stuff in Barcelona and stuff like that. Because you remember, like in Barcelona, they used to have like those couches where they put the curtains and stuff like that. Yeah. Like so you have those little private areas, little privacy and stuff like that. But it's not. No, it's people can see what's going on over there.
Yeah.
So we're just hanging out with some people, and met a couple girls. I'm like, friends of mine was there. My best friend was there with me. Great people to hang out with. Following week, hung out again. Like saw them. Hey, we you see them again. You hang out with them. But anyways, like gone out, had friends, like didn't hook up or whatever like that. Anyways, turns out to be later on, we find out she was a movie star, we'll say.
A movie star.
So you probably came across her, like, because Priya Rai.
Oh yeah.
She probably danced at your place.
She danced at our place as a feature.
See?
I had her as a feature.
See? Yeah. So Priya, like, so we're all hanging out and stuff like that. And I was like, and then then all of a sudden, we find out what she does by accident, right? Because my friend was like, my best friend was like, let's search her in Google just to see what's about her, and then the stuff came out. We're like, she's what? So the next time we saw her, chilled and stuff like that, we were actually we went to Lolo's actually, met up with her and friends, and then and it was a different look, and it's funny because I guess they recognized the look, and then they're like, and so that's what she said. She goes, "You saw what I do, don't you?" Like, yeah. She's like, "Did you watch some videos?" Yeah. and so she's like, "Come over to whatever, I'm dancing tonight." I was like, "Okay, we'll be over there." But it was just weird, and and so yeah, she was, and her daughter was beautiful. But of course, she was like, "Stay away from my daughter." But it was just an interesting, thing in Arizona with some of these.
Well,
stars.
they had okay, so we owned the Topless bar, but I didn't work or anything. I had managers and stuff like that. Okay, it was just a business investment.
Okay.
I still have this cough from this cold that I had. But anyways, so they would arrange for these features. All right. And what would happen is when these movie stars would have a new movie coming out, all right, they would circulate them through Phoenix and up all the way up. They did a big circle, okay, on the West Coast. Easy, easy drive style and everything else. And so, I would see, oh, my manager's got a feature this weekend. How much is it going to cost me? How much am I going to make? Whatever. And it would be funny because sometimes ex-wife number 2 and I would drop by after dinner or something like that. And we'd end up, spending some time chit-chatting with the feature and everything. Some of these girls were as straight as could be. And then some of them were so far out in left field, it just wasn't even funny.
Majority of them were far left out because like Priya, for example, was straight. Like she's like, no, just like you didn't know what was going on about her, right? But then some of her friends, you're just like, wow, like you're gone. Like they're just gone. Like, they're just like straight up gone. That's why I used to love, that's why I always tell people Barcelona, whatever you want to call it, was the place to go to hang out with people and meet people. So you be meeting the different people, like, and you see every now and like once a month or once every 2 months, you'll see Charles Barkley there. You see all the
you'd see the Suns go in there.
Yeah.
You'd see
Dan Marley was there.
Yeah,
Dan Marley was there a lot, unless he was going to his sports club because he had a sports bar also in the south part of Phoenix and stuff. So it was an interesting. It's one of those bars where you really see people and stuff like that, which is interesting to me.
Well, we used to like to go there, and I'll tell you where I really used to like to go was the Ocean Club. That's where I really liked going.
Ocean Club, where's that at?
The Ocean Club was out at the Marriott property up in there, and the nice thing about the Ocean Club, it was not a place you would go.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to drop $1,000 minimum walking in that place on a couple appetizers and a bottle.
Where I used to drop? I used to drop a lot of money at the Salt Cellar.
Oh my God, the Salt Cellar was great. That was a great place.
Like you didn't even know a restaurant was there. It was just that little small box with a door, right? And it's like a like a construction area looking thing, right? And you just park and then you go down. I I love the salt cellar. That's the place where you took a girl back in the days where you're just like, okay, something's happening tonight, so I'm taking you to salt cellar.
Yeah.
So the salt cellar was that.
Yeah.
Woo,
But I used to enjoy going there because that was a lot of really high end women, when I was single, in between ex-wife number 2 and the next stripper. So, but either way, I mean, Phoenix and Scottsdale was a great, fun place. It really and truly was. I can't complain about that at all. I wish I'd have had a YouTube channel back then. That would have been funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of those content nowadays, which is crazy. And for the people that thinks that I should know who that Tracy Lord's girl is, I don't. That wasn't the time when I didn't I didn't watch that stuff for that. I didn't go that back. You have to go. I'm guessing you have to go all the way to the back, on the oldies, VHSs for to be able to watch her stuff. No, it wasn't me. I had a different thing. If I did go to some of those, to the curtain covered rooms and stuff like that, to do a rental back in the days, because everyone has, and stuff like that. That wasn't my cup of tea. I was straight up Latinas and Asians. Never,
never
did the Caucasian stuff.
So wait a minute now, Mark Meadows. Mark, is it me or do both of these guys love drama? Mark, what are you talking about? What drama do I love? What drama does Mike love? Explain.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, here's the one. Here's the content. I don't know. Maybe he's hurt because I haven't because he had a comment earlier on asking, it's like, that there's some vloggers that you like, and there's who do we watch was his question all the way up there. Who do we watch? Like, who do I watch? Who do you watch? Because there's some vloggers that I don't appreciate that I'll say my comments, and then there's some vloggers that the same guy that I may comment on, you are okay with. And it's like, and that's the beauty about it, in my opinion, Mark, is the fact that we can have a decent conversation and not argue about what we disagree on, and talk about what we can agree on, and just admit to the fact that we disagree on some things, because no one can fully agree with everything about me or about Mike. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people in your life probably that don't agree with you. So it's like, take it as it is.
Everyone in the world can look at Mike and analyze after 5 minutes the amount of flamboyance. Really? Mark, perhaps people can look at Mike and people like Mike and understand that some people have to speak. Some people have to say what's going on. And you maybe don't need that, but other people's need to hear it. If you don't like it, if it's disagreeable to you, Mark, I certainly understand it. Mike and I have our disagreements, okay? But that doesn't mean that he's flamboyant. It just means he has a little bit of, difference of opinion.
Well, I think he's trying to reference Corporal Klinger and me or something like that, because he's saying flamboyant. So it's funny how when you have nothing else to talk about, when men like you don't have anything to talk about, you're gonna go with the whole J stuff and flamboyancies and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. But the thing though is, one thing that I know, just like a lot of Republicans out there who makes fun of the Jays, they end up showing up to be the Jays.
I'm not sure what Mark's getting at, to be honest with you.
I think he just wants to. He's just trying to start stuff, which is perfectly fine. I think there's room in that. And Mark, you can cam up as well if you want to. Alex, you're a little bit late, brother.
Alex is here.
If there's any comments that that I missed, or questions, like put it down below. But it's I think
Good morning, Ruby.
he called Mike extravagant. If you're talking about extravagance, so is there something wrong if and so let's like me and Mike, we have a disagreement, but look, I just find out he loves the salt cellar, and not everyone in Arizona knows about the salt cellar. Not everyone knows. Like, that place was, it wasn't like the Marriott Ocean.
For a long time.
Oh, I love that.
Real low key.
Yes. And then at the same time, it's like I know people who've gone to Salt Cellar and regretted it because they just hear it's a good place. They go down there, they end up spending so much money because it costs a lot. Like, guys, the Salt Cellar is one of the best places to have, surf and turf. But here's the thing. They serve you Alaskan crab, they serve you all the different crabs, but they crack it for you. They crack it for you, and then they put it in front of you. Like, that's literally what happens. Your server will have this towel, and he or she will crack those crabs for you, and like give it to you and stuff like that. And that was like the best thing ever. And you probably leave if you go on a date there with a girl. You're probably gonna leave if a couple glasses of wine, maybe somewhere around $400 by the time you're done. Minimum. $400, $500. Like my ex-wife, that was the second date. So, and then we ended up in the ER because for some reason she passed out. So, yeah, she passed out in the salt cellar.
No.
Yeah.
Did they figure out why? I mean,
she had a bad reaction with the crab cake, and that how they used to give you the 2 crab cakes. Right. Order, right? Yeah, yep. She ate one. She turned gray on me. I was like, I was like, she passed out. Fireman had to carry her off downstairs all the way to the top of the salt cellar, and then we ended up in the ER. So, but that's if you're talking about extravagance. If he said that, if I missed that stuff, there's nothing wrong about enjoying if you have the capabilities, if you worked hard for your money. There's nothing wrong enjoying that stuff. I mean, if you go to Barcelona, you're definitely gonna on a weekend stuff. You're definitely gonna leave there with at least a $600-700 bill after minimum. If you just do the basics in Barcelona and stuff like that. But you work hard for that stuff and you enjoy that stuff, and you meet people that you never thought you're gonna meet.
Well,
how many people? Yeah.
The other thing that people don't recognize. Oh, Ruby's here. Hey, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
The other thing people don't realize is you don't go to a place like Barcelona every Friday night.
No.
You don't go to the Salt Cellar every Saturday. All right. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I'm going to go to Five Guys for dinner tonight. And next weekend, we're going to go to Barcelona. People save their money. That doesn't make them extravagant. It makes them appreciating something else. You go to the Salt Cellar, they'll feed you if you want them to. They're not just crack it. All right. They'll feed you. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you could be. I will tell you right now, though, you're talking about some of your favorite restaurants in Chicago. There's a place. You know where the Drake Hotel is?
Yes.
150, 250 feet down that street that the Drake is on.
Okay.
There's a place called the Rosebud.
Okay. Never went there. Lots of friends who've gone to Rosebuds. But I had this thing about never taking a girl on a date in downtown Chicago. Not unless I was staying at a hotel in downtown Chicago.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, that is still to this day.
It's a steak place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It is just phenomenal. Just Facts just said you got to go to Wolfgang's in BGC. All right. I got to tell you, I've been to Wolfgang's. The Rosebud puts him to shame. It does. It is a icon in Chicago for beef. It really is. But that was phenomenal.
Solaire in in has a good steak place over there.
Yep.
I would go to Solaire, and then what you can do, there's a thing that you can do in Solaire where you can do a taste testing where the chef will be there and stuff like that. My girl was supposed to take me there, but we just end up not going. But Solaire's got good steak in there. And then if you want the cheap steak in the Philippines, there's the all you can eat up in the malls for like $10, but they give you like the ribeye is like, I don't know, paper thin ribeye. And so, I mean, just put a lot of gravy on it, then you can enjoy your steak from there. But just enjoy yourself. Yeah, but Wolfgang's is good. I've been to Wolfgang's. But for me wise, it's like the way I look at Wolfgang's now is that it's just the PF Chang's of steak, just like the PF Chang's is with Chinese food.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just the name that's involved in it. Sometimes it's like I'd rather go to places where there's no names of the chefs.
I'll tell you what's interesting. Arlen found one of the companies that actually supplies the high-end steak and seafood places in Manila.
Nice.
They ship it in on dry ice.
Is it coming from New? Is it New Zealand? Is it Argentinian beef? Is it New Zealand or is it Australian?
It's coming straight out of the Pacific Northwest.
Interesting.
It is Midwest beef,
okay,
Alaskan and Pacific Northwest fish. So right, you can get. I figured it like this: they'll deliver it right here in Angeles. I want to say that it was going to probably run me, and they guarantee live delivery on Alaskan king crab.
Interesting.
Guaranteed live delivery, and it was going to run me, I think what I estimated to feed 4 people crab legs
was
going to run me about $420 delivered alive right here.
Interesting.
So, but then I got to cook it too,
See, I don't cook crab. I will eat crab and order crab at restaurants. I'll never cook crabs. For some reason, I always overcook it, and it's just a waste of money for me. So that's why I'll just buy it. Unfortunately,
yeah.
But Wolfgang does have in BGC has a decent burger. Like if you want a good American burger, Wolfgang has that. The restaurant style burgers if you want. In my opinion, But anyways, Mike, I'm gonna cut this short. Well, it's not short. It's already 2 hours, man. So I'm gonna let you go for now. Thank you so much, man, for showing up, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. You guys take care. Everybody else take care. Bye.
Cool. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna be closing it out. If there's a few questions here that you guys have that we can bring up, let me know. Just before we go. Like I said, we have 3 more videos because when I did the interview for Attorney Bernice, it was like a good hour 40 minutes. So I didn't want to just put it all one. That's interesting. Also, what I think he was referring to is the fact that the old guy had nice things to say to someone that Mike said negative things about. I didn't say bad things on regular guy. Said what I feel that things can happen. He agreed on, Mike agreed on that stuff. Different experiences, but I didn't talk trash about the regular guy. But my drama queen, then I'm a drama queen. That's on you. That's on you. But anyways, guys, let's see, knowing what you just did there, Woody, you're the same guy as Mark Meadows. So we'll just ban you right now as well. I'm going to make you make another username to be able to make comments next time. All right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Peace.